Thank you for joining us today and for showing up for yourself. You are totally at the start of what could well be a life-changing journey. My name is Nikki Maritz and I'll be your host today, and I'm the CEO of IBTC, and IBTC is the leading tuition provider in this space and well known for its remarkable service.
Welcome everybody and good evening. My name is Pilisa Matyholo. I'm your co-host tonight. I'm an IBTC lecturer and working in the FMCG space. IBTC's programs are designed to get you to pass first time or will stick with you until you do. Please note that we'll have a Q&A session after the presentations where you're welcome to unmute yourself or post questions in the chat.
So Pilisa, 2023 has been a very exciting year for CIMA with the launch of its new website and its new study path called FLP. But that didn't come without its teething problems, especially with the migration of the existing students to the new system. Whew, students had a rough time with that this year, hey?
Nikki, yes, it certainly was a challenging year, but I'm so glad that I could just tell my students to contact IBTC for any problems they're experiencing on the new CIMA website.
Thanks, Pilisa. CIMA has also introduced some new entry routes and some new exemptions and registration processes. Some of you here today might not be familiar with the way it used to be, so it won't be new for you, it will just be the way it is, and others will. But either way, it's usually quite tricky to figure out how to register with CIMA. It's not tricky to find out, should I even study CIMA? But it's then, once you've decided, it's tricky to find out, how do I register? How do I apply for exemptions? How do I pick an entry route? And that is precisely what we'll be looking at today. So we can kick off with a poll, I think, to see who we have in the audience today. On your screen, you should see a poll which will help us determine where you are in your CIMA journey and how best we can pitch it for you today. A lot of management level. I've got some ops. We're just waiting for exemptions. Just started my CIMA app. Fantastic. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the poll. We've got a lot of responses. The results are in, guys. The results are in. Share the results. Can you see that on your screen? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic. Okay, I've just started my research. I haven't registered with CIMA yet. A few have registered and waiting for exemptions, and then a few at ops level, some at certificate management, and one strategic level. So, excellent. Let me just close that. Okay. I just want to see if I can share my screen. Hang on. Share screen. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. So now that we've just done the poll, it actually reminds me of a poll we did recently with our student community, Pilisa. We wanted to know really what's important to our students and what are the things that they look for when choosing a college. And this is then what the results said. Students mostly care about student support. We used to have a saying at IBTC, we say, the only thing a student cares about is a pass. And to some extent, it could be true. I'll say you'll accept any circumstances. My first job, I had a small little desk and the water was dripping on it. And if I wrote in the wrong color pen, it would smudge over. But it's okay. I think students will accept any circumstances as long as they pass. But we did the poll and the student says actually they care about the amount of student support they get. They then care about if the college and the qualification is accredited. In the third place is the results. They care about the college pass rate. And the fourth most important thing to students is the quality of the material and their tuition. Does this resonate with you, Pilisa? Are you surprised to see what's important to our students?
Not at all, Nikki. I'm not surprised. I think when a student chooses to sign up with a college, they do so specifically because they want someone to help them properly. Sometimes students feel that they can do it on their own and save some money. There's always a good number of students in my class who felt they could do it on their own, but after having failed their exams numerous times, they decided to sign up with IBTC in terms of classes. Ultimately, they found that signing up with the college really helped to cut down on their study time and help them to stay on track.
That's true. I concur. You know, the accreditation is also obviously a concern to students in the South African environment due to the many fly-by-night colleges, and you don't want to sign up with a college that doesn't have the proper accreditation, and you waste your money when you try to get a qualification. You sometimes see that on carte blanche.
Yeah, and we know that one thing students really care about is
I know. Yes. Yes. Did you know, Pilisa, we're the only college who consistently publishes its pass rates? Good news or bad news, we share our results openly, and it actually took us 8 years to get to the point where we have a consistent, remarkable pass rate that we can be proud of. We stand and fall, I like to say, we stand and fall by our ability to get students to pass first time. And for us, it's a partnership, a bit of a value share.
Nikki, can you tell me what's behind IBTC's remarkable pass rates?
What's behind our remarkable pass rate? Pilisa, I think it's mainly two things that we do differently to anybody else. I think the one, if you were to do a SWOT on us, then probably our strength would be that we've partnered with BPP in the UK, and BPP is a global CIMA tuition provider, and they work very closely with CIMA. It took us 2.5 years, but we've secured the exclusive rights to use their resources in our courses. And through our partnership, we're then able to buy in world-class resources. I always feel like when a student studies a global qualification, you should have access to global expertise. So we get their material and the way they conduct their classes, and it's a global program delivered locally. And the one other thing that really is close to my heart that makes us different is our focus on remarkable service. The specific element I think that students feel strongly about is the student support is what we call hand-holding. And it's the care and the support we give students that really, I think, underpins our good pass rates.
Yeah, Nikki, I think I should share this slide with you. We know that CIMA recommends Kaplan material, but we went against the grain and we're exclusively using BPP material. And that's because we simply get better pass rates with BPP, right? So here we compare.
Yeah,
so here we compare the global CIMA pass rates against the pass rates achieved by all students who use BPP resources. This includes IBTC students. So traditionally, BA2 and P1 are known as very tricky subjects. As you can see, our students perform 20% better on BA2 and P1 than the global average. And you can see why we consider ourselves to be the case study experts. A whopping 92% pass rate at strategic level, and on average, our case study performance is 10 to 30% better than the global average.
Sure, you know, it's always astounded when I see this, but you're actually 48% more likely to pass with BPP and IBTC.
Wow, Nikki, I didn't know that.
Pilisa, tell me, is CIMA for everyone?
No, Nikki, often students are wondering if they should do their honors next or do CIMA or an MBA. I think we had a question similar to that earlier on. They want to be sure that CIMA is the right career choice for them. The truth is that CIMA isn't for everybody. CIMA combines business and finance, like you shared earlier, which is like bringing together an MBA and psych rolled into one. Generally, the rule I follow is that if you like tax auditing, then CIMA is not for you. If you enjoy business, looking at performance, costs, then it could be the right choice for you. A large part of financial accounting is about looking back, dealing with past transactions that occurred in the past. Management accounting is about looking forward, dealing with budgets, focus, pricing, future risks, and strategy.
That was the first thing I ever learned about CIMA when somebody explained it to me. They said financial accounting is looking backwards and management accounting is looking forward. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. I also think another reason to study CIMA is also that it's a professional qualification. So you get a designation. Pilisa, what's the designation you have behind your name? Does it say Pilisa Matyholo?
Yeah, it goes Pilisa Matyholo, ACMA, CGMA, yeah.
CGMA, I see. So you get a designation behind your name, and it's so professional qualification versus an academic qualification. And an academic qualification, you're awarded a diploma or a degree, but you're not awarded the designation. You don't become a professional management accounting or a lawyer or a doctor. You get a diploma or a degree or a piece of paper. I always feel that a professional qualification offers you more opportunities, and I really feel that it's better value for money spent on studying.
True, Nikki. Also, CIMA is a respected and well-known qualification across the globe. You can work around the world or right here for a global company. It's a very portable qualification. In fact, 95% of the world's top brands employ CGMAs. This means that you're immensely employable.
Do you work for a global qualification? For a global organization?
I should keep this hush-hush, but yes, there's a big company called A coming into South Africa. I'll be there soon.
Oh, okay. I think, yeah, on the screen, you can see the competency framework, and I think that's a good illustration of what you will learn on your CMA, on your CIMA, CGMA, your CIMA qualification. You can see that there isn't just a focus on technical or financial skills, but there's also a focus on people skills and business skills, digital skills, leadership skills. This competency framework is the foundation for your coursework and for your exams, which is quite handy to know. So all your exams will to some extent incorporate all of these elements, and you can see it rests on a bed of ethics, integrity, and professionalism. I always love that.
Yeah, Nikki, to sum it up, I think why I like CIMA is that CIMA is where business meets finance. It's a finance qualification and it's a business qualification. It's like being a CA with an MBA, which means that you're competent in a lot of areas and you can play a multitude of roles. On the next slide, we're going to show you some good examples in terms of these are the roles that you can play as a CGMA. You see the C-suite roles, but also the non-financial roles.
Is this says what you earn? No, I'm just joking. Can't answer me. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong slide. Am I on the wrong slide?
No, you're on the right slide.
I think I might have a slide missing, but nonetheless, you were saying with CIMA, you can play a lot of executive roles. You can play the C-suite roles, and then you can also play finance roles. You can like finance controller or analyst or finance business partner, head of finance, but you can also play non-finance roles, right? Like commercial director and a strategic planning manager and things like that, or a consulting role like a financial consultant. Yeah. Did I ever tell you, wait, no, I'll very quickly tell you a story. My previous boss was a CGMA, and he started as, I think started as an accountant or a bookkeeper, but anyway, he was quite young. And then he became the accountant, and then he became the CFO of the organization. And then then the lady in operations left, I think, and he said, no, he'll take that under his wing too. So he managed that. Then he moved into the marketing department, and then he went into the new business acquisition, which took him into Africa. And then a few years later, he returned to South Africa as the CEO. And that's totally a full journey on the back of his CGMA designation.
Wow, Nikki, that's very impressive.
It is, eh?
Yeah.
Tell me about the salary.
So there's also the salary, of course. I think CIMA annual salary survey reveals that CGMAs in South Africa earn on average 484,000 rands per annum. And I know some students in my E2 class who are earning around 35,000 rand per month, and they aren't even fully qualified yet. If you look across the board in Britain, you'll earn about 63,000 pounds per year, which roughly equates to about 1.2 million. And this is according to a real CIMA survey recently conducted.
That's quite a lot, eh? I didn't know. No, I knew. I don't know if you know. Do you know that the average basic salary, if you put two people in the same position, and the one has got CIMA qualified or is busy studying CIMA, that on average, the results have shown that their salary will be 13% higher than for a similar position in South Africa for a non-CIMA. Yeah, totally.
That's a great reason to actually study CIMA.
I know. Okay, let's see if I can move on. This was our slide, that one. These two slides are just mixed up. Okay, let's quickly look at the qualification. I'm trying not to go too fast or too slow, but the entry route to the professional qualification is an open entry certificate level, meaning everybody can start here. The professional qualification really is this portion. It consists of 3 levels. It is the operations, management, and strategic level. And then there are 3 levels and 3 pillars. It's quite cleverly designed. So in this pillar, the E pillar is the enterprise pillar. It is the business pillar. The P pillar is the performance pillar. It's really the heart of the qualification. And here you find the finance pillar, which is classic accounting. So it's quite cleverly designed that at every level, so this is a level and here's your award, you will do 1 business subject, 1 performance subject, and 1 finance subject. Okay, so let's get rid of all of that. So I'm going to look at the enterprise pillar. In the enterprise pillar, we look at things like business models, management of people and projects, and it's really where the strategy is formulated. And then in the performance pillar over here, where you'll use your management accounting and your risk, you can see a lot has to do with risk, your risk management skills to ensure that the strategy that was developed in E is realistic and to monitor its implementation. Okay, so that's what you do in P. P also deals with costs, budget, pricing, capital expenditure, managing your costs, managing performance. And here you focus on the skills to what we're trying to do here, because it's such a big thing, is enabling you to identify a risk, to then classify that risk, then to evaluate that risk and figure out how you're going to manage that risk. So that's really big nowadays. Maybe always been. And then lastly is the finance pillar. And in the finance pillar, we focus on financial accounting and the reporting obligations of the organization. And this includes things like the regulatory framework and external reporting requirements, the ability to construct really complex financial statements and to show the financial position and performance of the organization. And here we deal with business tax and the tax implications of financing decisions. And here you assess the risk that was identified in the performance pillar. So you can see how nicely this is where strategy, in E is the strategy, here you assess the strategy, here you assess the risk, and here you help to identify the risk that was help to manage the risk identified in the performance pillar. Okay, Pilisa, can you, because there's such a fairly substantial group of people who are thinking, is CIMA right for me and should I register? It might be useful. I'm springing this on you a little bit, Pilisa, but what is in each of these subjects?
Thanks, Nikki. That was a good explanation of the different pillars. So I'll start with BA1. At BA1, you'll deal with macro and microeconomics. And if we move on to BA2, here you'll deal with costing, planning, and control. This is really the introduction of the management accounting profession. So you look at product as well as costing. At BA3, we deal with standard recording of financial transactions, preparation of accounts, and analyzing financial statements. Here it is assumed that you have very limited financial background. If we move on to BA4, deals with company administration, things like CSI and legal aspects of the business, such as employment contracts. Once you've passed all these subjects, you get obviously the certificate in business accounting, which is equivalent to an NQF level 5 qualification in South Africa. If we move on to the professional level, here you'll see we've got E1 that covers elements such as big data, shared services, and also traditional business functions like sales, marketing, HR, and operations, including IT. At P1, you really get into it, dealing with manufacturing, things like marginal costing, absorption costing, budgets, pricing, break-even analysis, and probability distributions. Then on F1, we deal with cash flows, inventory days, payables, receivables, tax elements, and preparation of financial statements. Once you pass all these subjects, you write your operational case study to then get your CIMA diploma in management accounting, which is equivalent to NQF level 6. Moving on to managerial level, we got E2. You'll see things like business models, project management, managing people, elements such as health and safety, and negotiation strategies. At F2, you'll deal with managing cost, activity-based
No, P2.
management.
P2.
Yeah. So the P2, yeah. You deal with management, managing costs, ABM, just in time, key performance indicators like liquidity, profitability, and looking at things like ROI. Also looking at risk and control. If we move on to F2, here you'll deal with preparing group accounts, dealing with international accounting standards like your IFRSs, as well as integrated reporting. Once you pass all these subjects, you will write your management case study to get your CIMA Advanced Diploma in Management Accounting, and that's equivalent to NQF Level 7. And finally, at strategic level, you start thinking like a CFO, sitting in the board, basically. So here we've got E3, where you deal with models such as the Pastel model, the SWOT analysis, purpose of the company, the vision, value chain analysis, but all of these are at CFO or CEO level. And in P3, you'll do a lot of risk maps, risk management, risk control, cyber risk, strategic risk, etc. Then at F3, you start looking at how to actually fund the business, how to take the business to the next level. You look at sources of long-term finance, dealing with mergers and acquisitions and the like. On completion of your final case study, your academic component of your studies are done, and you need to complete your proof of practical experience to be awarded the CGMA designation.
Yay, that was done really well. Thank you so much for that. I always think it's quite nice to just have a little bit of an idea of what will be covered in your qualification. I want to look at some different routes for completing the CIMA qualification. There are two routes. There's the traditional route, the one if you've been with us been studying CIMA for a while, there's the traditional, they call it the PQ route. Is just the old way in which we used to study one subject at a time. And the new route that CIMA introduced is the FLP route. It's called the Finance Leadership Program. I have no idea why they're calling it that, but nonetheless, it's just so that you know there's a PQ route and there's an FLP route. So the PQ route stands for Professional Qualification, traditional route. You work through your 13 subjects and you sit 13 competency exams. Okay, is this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not 13. Okay, so you sit all of these exams that are in gray, blue, teal, and green. Then you also sit these case study exams. Okay, so it's 16 exams in total if you don't get any exemptions. A lot of people get exemptions, but if you don't get any exemptions, and you have 10 years to complete all of these exams. Okay. In fact, I say that, and I actually don't know if that's true anymore, but nonetheless, maybe somebody can put in the chat if that is old information, but nonetheless, you slowly work through it and eventually get your CGMA. Okay. On the PQ route, you prepare for your exam any way you want to. You can do it on your own. You can study with a buddy. You can beg, steal, or borrow a book. You can join a study group. You can join a college, which a lot of people do. You can study online. You can study offline. You can come to classes. You can do a hybrid. You can do an online course. It really doesn't matter. CIMA doesn't care. When you are ready, you simply book your exam and you come and sit any of these exams, whether it's an OT, these we call OT, objective test exams, or whether it's a case study exam. Okay, now on the FLP route, I need a different color for that. On the FLP route, are you ready for this? You only need to do 3 exams. You're like, what? I don't understand why. The reason is you will not write these exams, but you will do continuous assessment on these. Okay. It will all become clear in a moment. On the FLP route, you cannot study on your own, borrowing a book from a buddy or attending a class or studying online or studying offline or whatever, and then just sign up for the exam. You have to study on the CIMA FLP platform through a tuition provider. Okay, so that on the platform, they have put all of this content. We've got a stock room here where we keep all your books, and kits and toolkits and all the resources. So I always think there's this room and it's filled with all these books for all of these subjects. The FLP route, you buy time to go into that room. You say, I want to go into that room for 1 year. We say, okay, great. Go into that room and go study as quickly as possible. So I'm going to start here. You start studying E1, you study, you do some questions, 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 and they say, great, you've now answered all the questions correctly, and you are done. You've now proven your competency on E1. And still on that platform, because your clock is ticking, you study P1, you do the questions, you study P1, you do the questions, you study P1, you do the question, you study P1, you do the question. When you're done, you say, great, you're now done with P1. And you do the same for F1. You study answer question until you're done with all of it. Then they say, great, it now unlocks the case study exam. You are now able to go and sit the case study exam. There's some resources here to help you prepare for the case study exam. A lot of students come to our case study exam prep classes, which are hosted online before they sit the case study exam, but that's neither here nor there. Once you pass your exam, your case study exam, you are still in the room. You quickly go and study E2, answer all the questions, study E2, all the answers. You go through E2. You quickly study answer question, you go P2. You study answer question, you go through F2. And then it unlocks your management case study exam and you write it and you pass. And then you study E3 and then poops, your time is finished and they kick you out of the room. Okay. For you to continue, you either continue on the PQ route, you now still have to do E3, P3, F3, and your strategic case study, or you buy some more time in the room. You come back and you finish it off. Okay. There's a few things else that I must add, which is when you buy, and it's a substantial amount, when you buy, it's actually this, time in this room, you buy time. You also get, I think when you come in here, on the table is lying a token for your registration fee. So the fee includes a registration fee. It includes a token for your subscription fee, so you don't have to pay your subscription fee. It includes 2 exam tokens for every single subject. So, for every single case study. So you get 2 tokens to sit your ops case study, 2 to sit your man case study, 2 to sit your strat case study. Okay, so while you are in this room, you can study as much as you can, write your exam, you fail, you write another exam, you pass, you study, so you've got 2 tokens there. Okay, so let me just see if I covered everything. Professional qualification. It's flexible and you can do it at your own pace. You can use any study method. On both, you can apply for exemption. You can apply for exemption here and you can apply for exemption there. Here you do 13 subject exams and 3 case study exams. Here you do 13 subjects continuous assessment and 3 case study exams. In this PQ, you must still pay for your own registration fee, your own annual subscription fee, and your own exam fee. And in this model, it's all included. Okay. If this seems a little bit confusing, nevertheless, we'll cover it again. Okay, so what else can I tell you? On the FLP route, you pay for time. It's a subscription model. You have to study as much as you can in the time you bought. If you bought a 1-year subscription, you must be dedicated and try and race through as many subjects as possible. So one of the things some of our students say, it sounds fantastic to just write 3 exams, but I don't feel for the amount of money that I can now dedicate myself as much as I can because I've got this on and I'm going to travel for work and then we're moving house. And for now, I'm not going to take it now. For now, I'm just going to study my E1 and P1 on the PQ route. And when I'm ready, I'm going to switch over to the FLP route. Others are saying, oh, this is what I've been waiting for all my life, and jump in completely. For me, on the PQ route, I feel you get more into the detail of the subjects. You learn more. And it's probably because you're preparing for an exam. And because you know your subject content so well, your case study exam, because the case study exam, I don't like this color. Your case study exam draws on these 3 subjects. So if you've done exams for these and you know your content really well, then technically your case study should be easier. Okay. So on FLP, you don't write subject exams. So chances are you'll battle a little bit when you come to case study, because you don't have the same foundational knowledge, but it is a much faster route. What's important to know is whether you are on the PQ route or on the FLP route, everybody writes the same case study exam. Okay. Pilisa, which do you prefer? The traditional PQ route or the new FLP route?
Thanks, Nikki. I think judging by the number of comments, this is a crucial question for our candidates online tonight. I also just want to stress that we will also have a Q&A session a bit later on. However, Nikki, to answer your question, what I like about the FLP is that there are fewer exams and it looks like you'll be qualified faster. But what I like about the traditional route is that there's more rigor. You're doing this qualification to pick up skills, to learn more and work better. With PQ, I believe that you'll learn more and your work performance will be better.
Oh, can I tell you my fish story? I'll very quickly tell you my fish story. What I love about CIMA and what I love about a professional qualification and what I love about either way, you know, study the content. There's so much richness in there. It will change the way you work and it will enhance your skills so much. So one of our students was studying P2. I think it's where they do costing and pricing methodologies. And he was studying and he was working for Lucky Star. They do what is Lucky Star?
Pinfish.
Can anybody tell me in the chat what is anybody still listening? Anybody just wants to know how FLP works? What does Lucky Star do? What does Lucky Star do? Oh, why is it not working? What does Lucky Star do? Who's Lucky Star? Anybody? If you're first, you can answer. Is it Lucky Star? Lucky Star. Lucky Star. Lucky Star. Anyone? Anyone? Nonetheless. Oh, no. He's working for... Yes, fantastic. Tin sardines. I think sardines and tomato sauce. Well done, Samuel. And 30082 for the bullshits. Ah, fantastic. Okay, so nevertheless. Okay, quick stories now dragging out. Our student is working at Lucky Star in the accounting department. He's reading something in his P2 handbook, and it is about different ways of doing pricing. Gets so excited. He starts copying pages from the book, telling his manager and the CEO and the CFO, and they must all come together in the boardroom. He's handing out these pages from our BPP books and writing stuff on the board. And he said, guys, I just learned that there's a different way we can do our pricing. So he said, what we are doing is we are figuring out how much does the tin cost, how much does the label cost, how much does the tomato sauce cost, how much does the pulchit cost, how much does the transport cost to take it to the shops, and how much does the shelf space cost, and therefore without my profit margin, that is my price. And the BBP book said to him, you must go to the shop and look at all the canned fish and say, where do we want to price ourselves? Do we want to be premium priced? Do we want to be low priced? Do we want to be middle of the range? And once you know that, you go back and then you tell people how much you want to pay for your pulchit, how much you want to pay for your can, how much you want to pay for your label, how much you want to pay for your shelf space. So anyway, he loved that. And he's now working at Woolworths in pricing. And he always says, Nikki, if the price of cut fruit doesn't come down, it's on me. So I love that. And it is such a good example of the beauty of CIMA. It is stuff you learn there that you can use in your real world and impress your managers. No, but really, it is just really a good professional qualification that teaches you real skills. So with each route, Pilisa, whether it's PQ or FLP, there's pressure points, hey? I think with the FLP pressure point, that if pressure point is at the case study, because of the risk of not being familiar enough with the OT subjects as one need to be. Okay?
Yep, that's true, Nikki. And then with the traditional or the PQ route, the case study exam should be a lot easier for you. But the pressure point are the OT exams which you need to pass first.
It's a personal decision which route is best for you, right?
Yeah, that's right, Nikki. And also a financial decision, of course. I think PQ route is a bit lighter on the pocket. And you can also do it in small chunks, like one subject at a time. And then the FLP route is a big upfront capital layout.
That's right. That's right. Okay, usually everybody comes alive when we talk about exemptions. It's important to know that if you choose the PQ route or the FLP route, both routes start at the certificate level unless you successfully apply for exemptions. So I mentioned that the exemptions process has changed. Exemptions are now awarded based on 3 things. Your existing professional qualification, or some call it just your professional membership. So if you are a member with CICA, CIPA, ICB, or ACCA, that is, you can apply for exemptions based on that. You can apply for exemption based on your educational qualification. It's an exemption based on your diploma or your degree. Then you can apply for exemption based on your experience and your role, and that is called the elite program. Okay, so exemptions based on your professional qualification is where you apply for exemption based on your membership. Exemptions based on your educational qualifications, where you apply for exemption based on your diploma degree, like a BCom for UNISA. As a general rule, qualifications that are older than 7 years will start at 1 level down. So if you both have the same qualification, but somebody graduated 5 years ago and you graduated 8 years ago, you will start 1 level down. But if you have enough experience, you might be pushed 1 level up again. This always causes great confusion, and students are very concerned that they will get exemptions. Students are typically very concerned about the exemptions they will get before they start studying. IBTC, we have now figured out how the exemptions work. We have a direct connection at the exemption team, and we can help you to find out what is the correct level for you to start at, and then what the correct entry route is. You will get the same exemption if you decide you're going to go the PQ route or the FLP route. The third way to get an exemption is based on your experience and level, and it's really your experience and your level in the company and experience in the finance and accounting arena. The elite program is an expedited way, expedited pathway, as they call it, based on your level and experience. Gives you entry into one of 3 programs. I'm just going to see if I can write this down. I like a bit of visual guide. If you have a PhD in accounting or business, or you've got more than 6 years teaching or research experience, you can do the elite program. Okay, elite program. You only have to do the strategic case study. No, I think I'm lying. I think you have to do the strategic level, which means you have to go through. Maybe let me just see. No. Okay. My sources tell me you only have to do the strategic case study. You don't have to go through E3, P3, and F3. If you can join the senior executive program. And if you're on the senior executive program, is when you're a senior manager with more than 6 years experience in accounting, finance, and business. Then you will start at management case study. You only have to do that. And then move on to do the whole strategic level. And then the CFO program. The CFO program is also an elite program. It's for CFOs, for CEOs, for executives with more than 10 years experience in accounting, finance, and business. And here you also only have to, I should have written it here, CFO, also only have to do the strategic case study. Okay. The other pathways that existed before the new exemption process technically no longer exist. If you knew of a pathway, you had a master's pathway, or you had a I don't know, they had such strange name, a CSEP pathway, things like that. Technically, they no longer exist, but sometimes the IBTC team has ways and means to revive them for students. So I am going to offer Vanessa at IBTC and her team, who knows everything about exemptions and how to get the most exemptions. Do we want the most exemptions? Pilisa.
Yeah, I think, Nikki, as a word of warning, and thanks for that explanation. I think if you've been exempted from a subject, CIMA assumes that your knowledge is good enough to have passed that subject and that you understand the content in the way that CIMA has presented it. So before you accept all your exemptions, our advice is to go through the syllabus document and highlight areas you don't feel comfortable with. If it is more than 40 to 50%, would suggest that you don't take the exemptions. Rather spend sufficient time recapping that subject. Also, your case study exam requires thorough knowledge of the E, the P, and the F pillar. Make sure that there are no knowledge gaps. We recommend that you recap these subjects before starting your case study. Our gateway courses are designed for students who are exempted from the E, the P, and the F pillar, because we include these in our material to help you. Now, it is important to note that when you apply for exemptions, that the new website is a guide only. Ultimately, your exemptions have to be approved by the SA exemption team, but I do find that the website is normally 95% correct most of the time.
Okay, they're 95% correct, 100% of the time. So, Lisa, again, crazy mood. Tell just what you said. Gateway, the IBTC Gateway programs include the EP and F material. So if you were exempted up to management case study, we recognize that you can't just now do the case study. So we have a package, I believe, a management gateway package that includes EP and F content. And the same, if you're now exempted and you only have to do a strategic case study, then we have a gateway package that includes EP and F content. Okay, is that you? That's what you're saying, if I understood you correctly. Okay. So let's see where we are. You are a new student and you want to register with CIMA. To register with CIMA as a student, you first have to create a profile. So this is a new thing, or a login, or an account, or you have to create an account. It's very normal nowadays to create an account. So your first job is to register an account on the CIMA Global website. Your very next step will be to register as a new student. And this part is a bit tricky as it's easy to make an incorrect selection here, resulting in you starting on the wrong level. It's quite easy to accidentally select the wrong thing. We've seen it. And then you start on the wrong level and you start studying. And then CIMA doesn't require you to provide all your documents and your proof of qualifications and things up front. They now can ask you anytime later. And if they realize then you have done it wrong, you don't have the qualifications or the experience you said you have, or you selected the wrong route, then they will disqualify you and put you on the right route. So if you are a new student, please join our free CIMA Assist program by emailing us at info@ibtc.co.za. You can put in the subject heading CIMA Assist or anything else. Please help, or I need help, anything will work. But just email us, just check with us. You don't always have to buy from us or anything, but let us just help you to get started. Our job is to get more qualified CGMAs out there. So any way we can help. A big thing that has changed, if anybody is now not new, is that you are usually you could just register with CIMA and pay your registration fee. Now they're saying, no. You must now also include a subject exam fee, because we want you to write, or if you're at certificate level, a BA1 exam fee, because we want you to write within a year. I need you to progress. So all exam fees are now, all exam fees are valid for a year. It used to be 2 years, but just so that you know, when you register, they are going to charge you a registration fee and an exam fee.
Oh, Nikki, that's very complicated. There's quite a lot to remember.
I know. Lisa, all you have to remember is make use of IBTC CIMA Assist.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay, so let's quickly look at ways to study with IBTC, how to prepare for your exams. We can look at the PQ methods first. So just pick up a pen here and see. Okay, with IBTC, you have the option of attending classes. You have the option of doing an online course or doing supported home study with us. Our classes typically start in February, and to hit the ground running, you can study a few chapters. You can sign up now. We send the books to you, and then you can, I always feel like don't walk into a class cold. Just study your books, read through the material. Don't study it, just enjoy it, read through it, see what it is about before you come to your first classes. So now or January is a nice time to sign up in preparation for your classes. So included in your classes packages is about, I think, 10, 11, 12, 13, depending on the subject you're taking, live online classes with your lecturers. It's online, just like what you're doing now. As you also get access to our online hub, where you'll find recorded lectures by where's this BBP video lectures. You can get video lectures with 100% syllabus coverage. So you get the Zoom lecture with a South African lecturer, and you get BBP video lectures with a UK lecturer explaining the same topic. So you really get two classes for the price of one, I feel. We also have an online course. Our online courses, you are typically ready in 6 to 8 weeks, and it's wholly online, but we also send you books because we know you like to underline and do things like that. You follow a step-by-step program. So it has a start date, a monthly start date. We give you access 2 weeks before, but on the start date is the date that the tutor joins. So you can study beforehand and read, and on the start date, the tutor joins. And that's when your program begins. And the tutor says, this week you must study this, watch this video, do that quiz, and submit it to me on Sunday. Next week you must study this, watch these 2 videos, and submit that test, and submit it by Sunday. So you go through quite a fast-paced program where the tutor is assisting you. You've got classmates from across the globe. You've got videos to watch. You've got online questions to practice on the same platform as which you will do your exam if you're PQ. And step by step. I quite love that. That's a good online program for you. Then we also offer our home study plus. Typically it includes the books, but you know what? It also includes those videos. So, and also the online question practice on the same platform as on which the exam will be conducted. You've got unlimited tutor access. We will support you. We phone you, say, hey, did you receive your books? Hey, do you know where to start? Hey, I haven't heard from you for 2 weeks. Do you need a mock test? How can I get you exam ready? We've actually got exam encouragement staff. Those people are measured on. These are the 100 people that belong to you. How do you get them to the exam? Okay, so that's our Home Study Plus package. Some other cool things you need to know. The pre-recorded lectures are recordings from the UK's best lecturers. They pick those actually with the consistently highest pass rates. Also cool thing to know is those videos, that full-length videos and also short revision videos, which you can use those 2 weeks before the exam. If you're attending a virtual class, you will be in class once a week per subject. If you take 2 subjects, you might, oh, what is that? Just this pop on my screen. Can you guys see this? Oh, don't know what that is, how that happened. Okay, if you attend a virtual class, home study, we used to send our home study students only the textbook and then support them with tutor and handheld them. And we thought, hey, we've got these videos. Why don't we give you access to those videos too? So I feel that is a very good value option that. I hope that this clarifies how your PQ study options work.
It does, Nikki. It actually is a nice way of explaining it.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. Before I go to how your FLP study options work, I'm just going to finish up how it will look like for PQ for people who are studying 1 or 2 subjects at a time. If you're already sold on FLP, just pay attention anyway, because you might choose this option. You might need to choose this option anyway. Okay, so very quickly, this is a rookie mistake. I call it rookie mistake. When students start with CIMA, they think, well, I did 3 or 5 courses at university or subjects. I can do 3 subjects at a time. We actually have a person at IBTC who picks up people who say you can buy 3 subjects at a time or buy a whole level at a time. But then we ask, which ones do you want to begin with? And if a student says, I want to start with E1, P1, and F1, you get a call. And we encourage you not to do that. And this will show why. So if you have decided to start on E1 or E3, and you come to class on a Saturday, for instance, then we ask you to the session before the class to read through the content. Don't study it. It's very interesting. Just read it, check what it's about, so that when you come to class, you don't walk into the class cold. In the class, you can engage better. You make a little bit of a diagram, you take notes, and then you go back and now you go and study and you write your notes for revision purposes for your exam. Then you prep again, you come to class, you study, and this is what you do for about 10 weeks or so, 10 or 12 or 13 weeks. And this gives you 7.5 hours a week, or about 90 hours over 3 months. Now you add another subject, but this subject, the book is a little bit fatter. So you need to add 2 hours here on a Sunday. So you come to class on a Saturday. This is the day you prepped. And you come to class. Here you squeeze in 2 more hours for studying. And here you consolidate your notes and study. And this is how this works. Now, can you see that where are you going to fit in a 3rd subject? So unless you're extremely committed, or there was one lady who said she resigned or stopped working because she just wants to study, then great. Then you've got more time on Sunday, you've got more time during the week. But generally, we like to keep these gaps just to keep a bit of a balance. The other thing I want to say, everything with CIMA, the study plans, everything assumes you are working full-time. Probably that you have a child, or that you've got a busy life and you've got a mom who's got a birthday. It is designed for people who work full-time. Okay, so this is what the study plan would look like if you are studying on the PQ route, and why we would recommend that you don't take more than 2 subjects. Okay, now there are various ways to skin a cat, but this is the way we like it to prepare you for the case study. So you will learn no new content. So all we need to do is to maybe revise EP and F a bit. You'll revise EP and F a bit. You will maybe spend, let's say you come, just get it right. Here you come to a class, and here you come to a class. You must always try and come, if you do nothing else, come to the IBTC case study exam prep classes. We've got an exceptional pass rate on it. We love case study. We need to teach you how to please the examiner. We're not going to teach you any new content, but you can't write in this verbose way. You have to we have to tell you what is the formula, how do you frame your answer, where to score marks, and we practice that, and then the exam will be perfect. So you come to classes over here. I like to say, Pilisa probably doesn't like that, but we break you down in the first class. You go back home, you think, oh, there's so many gaps and things that no, and then you use this weekend to fill those gaps. Pilisa referred to Fortis, Five Forces, and Mintzberg, and I can't remember those factors. And we say, okay, now go and fill those gaps here over this weekend, and you come back and we put you back together again, and we show you how to answer in the exam. And then you've got 1 more weekend left just to consolidate everything. So this gives you about 6 hours a week, but this is all we need this Saturday. And Saturday and Sunday, and this Saturday and Sunday, we need 4 days to get you ready for your case study exam, and we are brilliant at it. So I think next this won't be much longer, guys. Bear with me. Next is how your study options for FLP. So I explained you buy time into the room. Okay. So because you would have seen that when you do your case study exam, it relies heavily on your EP and F knowledge. Let me take a different approach. You've seen how good our case study exam prep classes are. So some students, a lot of students, most students said, please, I want to do FLP, but I still want to come to your case study classes. Please, can I come to your case study classes? So we put together a premium package and we said, okay, fantastic. You can buy FLP and get all of that. But for the premium package, I will also allow you to come to, I'll give you 6 tokens. I put 6 tokens on the table for 2 for each case study, operations level case study, 2 exam tokens, 2 tokens to come to our classes, 2 for management case study and 2 for strategic level case study. Okay, does that make sense? So the standard package and the premium package. I don't have eyes on the chat, guys, but we're almost done, and then I can ask some questions. So I'm just gonna race through this. I've got only 3 more slides. I think the one is, let me tell you how to plan your studies on FLP because I did it for PQ. Okay. These are all your case study exams. There's a case study exam in February, there's one in May, there's one in August, there's one in November. So typically, there's quite a few things I want to tell you here. The one is, if you buy a 1-year subscription, be careful when you activate it. So if you activate it here, the 1st of May, and it runs, and you bought a 1 year, and it stops on the 30th of April, then you're going to be here at the end of your subscription period and see, what, next month, there's a case study exam, which I wanted to write, but my subscription has expired. So you don't want that. So the best thing to do is to usually activate your FLP subscription straight after a case study exam. So now after November, now's the right time to activate it. So you start studying over December and January, and you may or may not be ready for the February case study. If you are ready, you can do your operations case study here, for instance. Then you can study E2, P2, F2 over here and write your management case study over here. And then study E3, P3, F3, and then write your strategic case study over here. Oops, in the case you failed them, you still have 1 or 2 more exam opportunities before your subscription expires. Okay, we typically say you can do 2 levels in a year, typically, because I will do it in a different color for you. If you start now, typically December, January isn't enough for you to be ready by February. So this will typically be your operations case study exam. And then typically you will write the February management case study exam. So you've done 2 levels in a year. But if you race through it and you find it not too hard, you come to you don't have to write OT exams. You come to a case study prep. You can probably might be able to do 3 levels in a year or 3 levels in 2 years. Okay, so Pilisa, can you talk us through some financing options? How do we pay for these things that we need to study?
Yes, Nikki, thanks. We have 2 options for you. So if you're on PQ, you'll buy 1 or 2 subjects at a time. These range from around about 4,000 to 8,000, depending on the subject and the study method you choose. You can use IBTC's payment plan to pay for your studies, which is interest-free. You pay a small deposit and the rest you put on a debit order for 4 months. This is unfortunately not available on the FLP platform. The FLP route is substantially more expensive, between 60 and 160,000, but remember that you can get through the full qualification in 2 years, so it depends on the package and the subscription you take. To pay for your FLP studies, you can take out a study loan with our loan partner, which is Capitec Education Finance. You can pay over a longer period than you can with IBTC, which reduces the monthly installments. They use an easy desktop application with a quick turnaround time.
Okay, well, thank you for that. In terms of what our students say, you will notice that a lot of our students comment on our support. Our lecturers go above and beyond for the support during and after the exam period. I appreciate IBTC support. It is the thing that we believe is sets us apart. I'm overcome with gratitude. You have made my study so much easier. I would like to thank the support team for constantly following up. We constantly follow up. We want to always push the studies to the top of your priority list. You constantly motivated me. So these are just some nice things that people are saying about us. You are now at an online open day, and we didn't want, once you log off, for everything to end. And then you can't remember, what did Nikki say again? So what we've done is we've put the slides, we've broken it up into pieces, we've put some more resources on our open day experience page. And somebody will most likely put the link on in the chat now. On there, if you want to see our exemptions work again, you can go and watch that video. If you want to go see what does our online course platform look like, you can go and watch that video. If you want to see what FLP looks like, you can go and watch that video. In fact, if anybody wants to see the FLP platform, I have it open. Or if you want to see what our online course looks like, I have a link to that open. And we have actually reached the end of our presentation. If you want a quote or you want to book, you can go to ibtc.co.za. On our website, you can see book. Can we see book now? No, you go to courses, you select your course, and it will open up a card and you can generate your own quote. Otherwise, Pilisa, what must you say if you need help? Again?
You can join or speak to us every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yes,
Yeah.
fantastic. We have a speak to us every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday at 4 o'clock. We have an open forum. Anybody can join, ask us any questions they like. We have a Thursday at 6 o'clock. Sometimes it's Pilisa, sometimes it's me, sometimes another lecturer just before case study. We have our case study lecturers just before registration period. We've got our registrar on. But if you buy from us or not buy from us or study with us or don't study with us, it doesn't matter. You can always join our speak to us sessions. In fact, you can access it through this. Let me tell you a little secret. You go to support, and one of the things that open up is speak to us, and you can click on that link and you can say if you want to join a Tuesday or a Thursday session. The other thing is, if you are unsure what to do, Vanessa has all the answers. Vanessa and her team, Robert and Wahid and Zakia, we are here to assist. You can info@ibtc.co.za. We also help with exemptions. Okay, great. I think I'm going to stop sharing now and have a bit of a look at the chats.
You don't need to look at the chats. I've got a couple of, it looks like I've only got 5 questions for you. So I'm going to kick off. Right. Is there a time limit to complete the FLP program? No?
The time limit. No, the time limit is if you bought a 1-year subscription, yes, you can go in but you can come back, skip a year, 2 years later, come back and buy another year.